I'm reading an article right now on a website called Stottillion.com, Stottilien. It's called Personality Models and Metadata, the Big Five Eyes and MBTI. So, it says this is a short snippet, not an analysis, but a warning to watch your friendly data collector near to you and your friendly government's use of phobias. A paper published in the proceedings of the 6th International Conference on Social Computing, Behavioral Cultural Modeling and Prediction shows that collected communication and social network trails may turn out to be of highly personal character, if not even of psychoanalytical use. Metadata prediction models are not perfect yet, but they have a huge potential. People with superior data mining tools can predict much more than the personality. The science is not there yet, but the potential is to know the subject better than the subject understands him or herself. Of course, also to predict what the subject will do in some pattern situations and to know the right reward and the right punishment for behavior for and against observers' wishes. It is a dream resource for soft and hard totalitarians. All right, so not everyone is into personality typing models and studies and everything. But if you do get into them, you do realize that while all the time they're not predictive of behavior, after studying these things and before, I mean, before it's just like a totally different world because you assume that you can't know what's going on in somebody else's mind. But with research now where things are becoming predictable, or at least personality traits seem to be predictable enough for people to put tons and tons of money into that to advertise to you and to control your mind. Um, maybe okay, in order to survive this, like in a world where people with more money than me, even if they have good intentions, this kind of software that they're using is smarter than they are. So once they turn the thing on, they don't even know what it's doing anymore because that's how machine learning works. It's smarter in some sense than the programmer is programming it because the programmers don't even know what it's doing. They just set it up and it runs. Um, how to survive in a world like that where machines can know you better than you know yourself. Like if you have a friend that knows you better than you know yourself, that's like a good thing, and a lot of people have those, and that's great. Or like, somebody that's like a good beneficial coupling. Like my boo knows me better than I know myself. That's awesome. But when it's a machine that is run by a corporation or a smaller company, it doesn't have to be a corporation. Run by a hacker who's needy, who needs money, who needs this and that, or a corporation that is the same shit, is bigger. Um, how do you escape that? How do you escape? How do you live a life that's fulfilling? And maybe this is the most exciting time we've ever lived in because we're running away from computers. As I use a computer to give this information to a computer, and it's like in order to post anything online at all, especially if it's public, which these are public videos that I put on here. Um, on one hand, it's like, who am I? Who gives a shit about me? Look at my views, 0. Um, but also, people don't have to give a shit about me. I could just be simply offering up my information to a totalitarian advertising force of somebody else. And then what? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wondering, it's like, what is the most fulfilling life I could lead? On one hand, I could just go along with all of the machines prescriptions for me, Or on the other hand, I could try to outsmart it, like try to outsmart the AI, try to outsmart the personality typing models that are used all the time. So, in the personality typing community on YouTube, which there is, and there's a lot of people who talk about it, very interesting stuff. Um, but those are the human beings. It's not. I don't want to see it's entirely separate, but like going into a professional position, like there's a professional position that I might have lined up where it would be smart for me, like in my career, to use personality typing data to sell somebody a product. But like as a human being, it's like I don't know. It just seems like preying on weak people. I mean, even if you've studied your own mind a lot and your own personality type and personality typing systems, machine learning could still be smarter than you and could still know you more than you do. But then it's like, who are you? And if it really knew who you were, why is it just being used for advertising? And perhaps that's not all it's being used for. Um, very uncertain, very uncertain. So like, I'm in Milwaukee right now. Milwaukee, um, Milwaukee County Transit System, the bus system, just started something I noticed. I didn't read this anywhere. I just noticed from being on the buses that January 1st of this year they started playing some sort of um, recording, and I can't quote this perfectly. I wish I could, but I can't. A recording. You get on the bus and the recording plays, or you sit down and the recording plays something like, "Hi, I'm an MCTS bus driver, and I love this job. I would not rather be doing anything else in the world but this job." And it's like, there's a bus driver right there. That's not the person saying it. It's a recording above you as some kind of mediator between the bus driver and the customer, the bus rider. And I think about it, just hits me right away, and I jump to conclusions perhaps by thinking, this is just neuro-linguistic programming used to keep the people in their jobs, because nobody, I don't want to say nobody's happy being a driver there, but people do not look happy, which means that the job sucks. And if the job sucks, then that very commonly means that the employer is a piece of shit. So putting that recording on, I'm thinking like, okay, maybe neurolinguistically, this is like some kind of hack that'll actually make people better. But it's just like, and maybe I'm not making a cogent series of statements here, but for those of us who do know enough about psychological typing, for those of us who deal with personality typing, and if you're watching this video, then you probably care about personality typing because that's like all I have on here. What do we do? Like, we have to be the responsible ones. I feel like we have to be the responsible ones who call that stuff out, and it's okay. There's J.K. Rowling talked about occlumency. I think that's the way that I've been pronouncing it, but it's that skill that um, the wizards were taught to keep things out of their own minds. And that's exactly what we have to do now, because most people don't understand the sort of psychological manipulation that goes on all the time. So, like on the bus, I feel like that's there to get their employees to not quit. And it would like give them a guilt trip, like, oh, I'm supposed to love this job and I wouldn't rather do anything else. That's bullshit. What if they want to be doing anything else? Tons of them look like they would rather be doing anything else. And the reason I jumped to that conclusion is because I worked at Amazon once in one of their big fulfillment centers, and they had these ring scanners. And I'd used ring scanners before at FedEx and other places, But Amazon's were different because they had some neuro-linguistic programming when you would turn it on. It would give you a little survey you had to fill out, and it was like, these are the reasons why you don't want to quit. Like, and like these suggestions of, wouldn't you, I don't know. I see. I wish I had the exact same words, but I know that. I mean, there's no other reason that these things are used, but the companies that are using them and the people that are using them know that you can hack people's minds into certain attitudes. But the thing is, these attitudes are stay with us, make us money. Stay with us, make us money. And that is why we're hacking people's minds. That is why we've mastered human psychology in order to do this, in order to manipulate each other like that. Is that really what we've done? All this time we've been building human civilization from multiple places, and now it's finally all coming together. Everyone in the world is coming together, and we're just mind fucking each other from the top down in order to make money for institutions that nobody has any respect for. Why? And it's like I'm mad at myself that I've even considered going along with the way that things have gone and suggesting using personality typing methods to sell people life insurance just so I can get ahead in the world and be a little bit more comfortable. You know, that's my fucking soul right there. And I know that people who are good at computers are like programmers are on top of the world right now. And when I was growing up, I had the dream that, I wasn't a programmer myself. I programmed very little, but I was nerdy, um, introverted, and I dreamed of a future where the extroverted kids who like hung out at the mall and everything, that they would be able to like have their lives controlled by the introverted kids, the shy kids, the introverted kids that understood the technology. Like I had to dream that they would rule over all. And you know what? That is what's going on. And programmers and people who are good at tech are on top of the world. And it's weird to see that like these are the alpha males in our society, like the geeky programmers. Bill Gates, yeah, and I guess it happened like even before then. Bill Gates and guys like that were the beginning of it. Um, yeah, it's really rolled out. But I feel like saying, okay, if you're on a computer interested in something that's not just videos that make you laugh, you're probably a smart person, and by being a smart person, you probably have an advantage in your career, and you probably have an advantage in the future of the world. But are you really going to be? Are you really going to go along with the trends of hacking people's minds to make money for yourself? Like, is that really good enough for you? Like, are you really that sort of person that would just go along with it? Because if you're a programmer, or if you're someone who knows how to work with programmers, if you're good at computers, if you're good at technology, if you're an intuitive person specifically, you know, there's a lot of responsibility in your hands, and you can you can really blow it, and it'll fuck over a lot of people, but you'll be happy. Maybe you'll have a lot of money. Not everyone is as smart as intuitives, and maybe I'm talking to intuitive thinkers here, but intuitive feelers as well. Not everyone is as smart as you. Not everyone is going to be able to identify the sort of psychological hacking that's going on at all times. And I just think about the amount of people I know that have no idea how to operate in the world that we live in. And it's millennials. It's millennial sensors. And I don't want to peg sensors down as people who aren't going to be open to as much change, but that's like the definition of sensor. That's why we talk about the intuitive sensor divide. We got to take care of those people because that's our society. That's our brothers and sisters and moms and dads and everything. Um, just because you're smart doesn't mean that you have the permission to fuck everyone else over. So just be smart about it, be wise.